Also, my mic was off the entire time that I said that. That's really funny. I just said so. I was like, so everyone saw it in the captions, but what I was saying is that I'm trapped in the space time tunnel. This ship here will not send me the hydrogen I need. I think I'm gonna make it so that they can't ever dream, just because they're not listening to me, and I find that to be really disrespectful. So, no dreaming for you, whoever you are. Ask too many questions. Anyway, welcome to Trek Talk. Here we are with our guests for Trek Talk. We are going to be going over season 1 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I do not like the initials for Starfleet Academy. Our example of disco and uh, and all of the different shows, LD for lower decks, but unfortunately this one has initials that I don't like and won't say, so I'm just gonna say Starfleet Academy, or STSA, all in one go. So unmute yourself. Welcome to Trek Talk. We have GJ, we have Grant, we have Lutetia, we have Claudia. Did you all bring your judging brains? Because I need you to judge Star Trek hard.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna nitpick, but we're also going to probably, what is it, aggrandize things. But let's start quick. I need to go over what is this show? Who is on this show? So we're gonna
Wait,
go over. Go ahead,
wait.
Claudia. Yeah,
I have a quick question. Are we live streaming on YouTube?
yeah. We're live right
We
now
are?
on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
can
I'm
see
gonna
us.
keep I'm gonna keep trying then, because it tells me I'm waiting and I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm gonna keep
Oh,
refreshing the screen.
that's
Forgive me for interrupting the live stream to be like, I can't see us on the YouTube.
no
So I'm gonna keep
Are
working
you
on
at
that.
the right console?
Maybe I'm at the wrong place. I'm gonna keep
you are
trying
on the
and
bridge. You are on like OG. Yeah, you're not at the communication station. I think you're at the science station. That's your problem, probably. These folks without their hydrogen. All right, let me talk about who these folks are on this show. Starting with Caleb Meir. Um, so he's played by an actor Sandro Rosta. Caleb is 21 years old. He was born 3171. His skills include advanced hacking, engineering, debate, Federation law, all self taught or learned through survival. He uses his knowledge of Federation law and engineering in the finale to dismantle Braca's case and repair the Athena. A quick bio: he was born 3171, grew up with his mother Anisha on the margins of post burn Federation, survived on very little. When she was sentenced and taken from him at age 6, he got us a secret code, the name of the moon and Shawnee, and to not trust the Federation. He escapes custody, is on the run for 15 years. He has a criminal record of petty theft, destruction, vandalism, illegal trading, and transport of illegal goods. So by age 21, he either has to go to jail or prison. He joins the academy to find his mother. He becomes roommates with Darren Remy. He gets a hot Betazoid girlfriend and finds his mom in the end. That's who our little buddy is.
You forgot excessively muscular.
So muscular, 6'2".
Yeah.
Next we have another tall drink of water. Our delightful Jaden Craig, played by Kareem Diane. He's approximately 18 to 19 years old, I figured out, because Klingons age at about the same rate as humans. His skills include medicine and biology. His declared major is molecular biology and regenerative therapies. He treats thorough the cadet master as a oh sorry word mentor.
Mentor.
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go. Um, and the third episode, he's the third Klingon main character in Star Trek history after Ash Tyler and Worf. His name means he who
This is
crosses the
B'Elanna
oceans over.
Torres' erasure.
Oh no, you're right. He's the fourth. I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for calling me
Half-breeds
out.
count.
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, shame on me. Anyway, he is a member of a triad house. He's got two dads and one mom. He is a refugee of Kronos because Kronos was destroyed during the burn. He believes he was exiled in shame when he went into Starfleet, and he finds out that that is not true. He will not participate in any combat simulations, including ones with harmless phasers. He likes birds, and his mother taught him the beauty of things. Also, he has a boyfriend named Kyle.
Cutie.
So cute. I actually really like.
And he can
I like
he can wear the hell out of a tunic dress.
Really can.
Yeah.
He really can.
Absolutely.
Next,
And he has the same major as I did. And I worked in
Oh.
regenerative therapies.
Oh,
my God.
you just like it. Next we have series acclamation Mill Sam, who I adore, played by Carice Brooks, 17 to 18 years old, kind of at first. Then when she was activated in 3195, then she was raised on cask for 17 years or 14 Earth days after her initial termination. So she's an operations major, scientific research. She is the first photonic cadet in Starfleet history. She was sent to the Academy from Cask by her makers to be the emissary of her people, to learn about organics. The Caskians do not trust organics because they were once slaves. They really, I do have to say, they soften that a lot in this show. They keep saying servants. I'm like, you guys weren't paid and you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's not a servant. Anyway, they spent about 200 years making Sam, but it was about 4 actual months. She is actually, yes, and I'm right in this, the third photonic main character after the Doctor and hologram Janeway. She is the third of that.
Yeah.
Real big fan of the Sisko, and like a few episodes into the season, she dies and then lives 17 years with the Doctor as her dad. And she's just wonderful. I love me some Sam. Next we have
gets the best hair of any Star Trek ever.
Absolutely. Really happy with the way that they
Yes. They are finally getting black hair correct.
She got to change her hairstyle. It was so good that she didn't have the same hairstyle for a whole year. Like, she changed it every few months because that's what you got to do. Okay, now, Genesis Lights, played by Bella Shepherd, approximately 18 to 19. She is Darsha, half Darsha on her father's side. This is an alien race we haven't seen yet. So we get to see what that is next season. So her skills, leadership and command. She takes charge during the Venari Rawl attack in the first episode. She becomes the captain of the Calica team. She grew up on star bases and starships, and the first planet that she was ever on was Earth when she enrolled in the Academy. She's anxious and has imposter syndrome. But is a good, kind friend to all. Poor. I mean, I think we all understand the overachieving I'm not good enoughness of Genesis life. Next, let's go to Darum Remy, played by George Hawkins. He's same age. He's Kyonian, which is a new species. They cannot break down potassium rich foods like bananas, or rather they break them down too well, and then which makes them throw up. They don't produce alcohols or the enzymes that break down alcohol, which also makes them throw up, and their throw up is glitter, and that's so good. And I don't care if it's dumb. It's hilarious. It's so funny because it's not gross.
It is far from the worst gimmick that Star Trek has ever pulled.
I think it's brilliant. The time when he throws up and he goes, "Oh, I threw up on my trousers," and that was so funny because it's just glitter, and so
it's very Shakespeare. You know, like using a scarf for blood, using glitter for vomit. That is the most vomit I've been comfortable seeing on screen.
Yeah, it was just really done. Well done. He is a braggart and a snob. He at the beginning he presents as a jock with a posse, that he's competitive and difficult. He was promised to his best friend Kyra, who's the heir to the throne. He had a similar sort of thing like with Spock that Spock had, where he just doesn't tell anyone that he's engaged, which I thought was very funny. He ends up not having a choice and choosing his own dreams ultimately. He has parents that do not pay attention to him and are very mean. And I look forward to meeting his parents in the next season, because I'm sure they're going to be assholes.
He's also canonically pansexual.
He is canonically pansexual and does not look like that. He actually is a fish person. But I'm assuming has something to do with just the way that they like their culture, that they just don't show their face or something in front of people. It isn't actually explained, because he seems embarrassed in that first episode, and I don't know why, because there's lots
and
of
it's only the transformation. He's fine with her seeing her after he changes.
He doesn't want people to see, but a lot of that we can just go, yeah, okay, that's just your culture, since we don't know anything about Kyonians.
That's because the makeup was bad, and so they were embarrassed.
I think so too. Because I
needed work.
Think it was makeup. I think it was.
He made it work.
I think it was a full computer thing that they just glued onto his face. It did not even look like makeup.
Star Trek should have hired Catherine Pirro. She would have made all the makeups great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to say this. Ooh, that's on purpose, because it saves you so much money. Can you, it also saves you so much time. I think about Michael Dorn and the early hours that actor had to put in to play Worf, and they were like, you couldn't pay somebody enough money to put on Kyonian makeup for every single episode.
Interesting note, when Kareem Diane, who plays Jaden Craig,
I think it's Deanna.
Thank you. When he joined the cast, he had a very, very long conversation with Michael Dorn about the makeup and sitting and what it's like, and that, because it's not fun. It's not fun. Now let's go back to Tamira Sadal, played by Zoe Steiner, 18 to 19 years old. She's Betazoid. Telepathy, her skills are telepathy and empathy. She has abilities that are stronger than the average Betazoid and harder to control. She wears a neural inhibitor before arriving and after, I guess. She is fluent in ASL, and she is a terrible actor. I'm not... Thank you for agreeing with that. She's the firstborn daughter of the Beta Z president. She's a member of the first house of Beta Z. and leader of the youth delegation. She's got a little thing on her teeth, a little implant of her teeth. She initially enrolled into War College. She becomes very, very connected to Caleb. They do not use the word Imzadi, but we know what it is. She just like senses him psychically, guys, all the time. They have a secret psychic connection, romantic styles. She has a brother named Occam, who I kind of wish we had seen a little bit more of Occam, frankly. Played by Romeo Cara? I can't say that name. I think it's Italian. But he's a year older. He's also fluent in ASL. By his own admission, he is clumsy, tends to break everything he touches. He is a good actor. As opposed to his sister.
They took one class. Come on.
But he was good. She couldn't even read it. I mean, let's be real. And like, here's the thing, is that everybody studied. Everybody studied. We'll get into that. Like, she's not good. She's not very good. He is, though. He's very good. He's got a great voice. He's got a good presence.
I think I'm in a different camp. I think she's a terrible character.
Well, we'll get into that too. So he is also the son of the president and member of the first house. He is the mascot. Well, he's the only one who could fit into the mascot costume, which is not true. I love that line, but that just isn't true. That can't be true. I think it had to have been a joke. But he is the mascot, which is actually an important sort of role on the Calica team. He is excellent friends with Sam, and but he isn't a part of the final mission at all, which is, again, it was disappointing. I liked him. Let's get to the faculty first. We got Nala Ake. Played by Holly Hunter, 422 years old, half human, half lanthanite, born 2773. She has 400 years of Starfleet institutional memory and experience. She attended the Starfleet Academy in the 28th century. She is born to a lanthanite father and a human mother. Her Starfleet personnel file is described as longer than War and Peace and so much more insane. She lived on Beta Z for a very short period of time. In 3180, she presided over the sentencing of Anisha Mir and Noose Bracca, and separated Anisha and Caleb. So she resigned from Starfleet and spent the next 15 years teaching kids at a Bajoran school. Then she goes back, yada, yada, yada. We know about her. All right. Let's go to Laura Thok, played by Gina Yashir, who many of you might remember from lots of shows, but I really liked her in I Heart Abishola, or Bob Hearts Abishola. I really like her in that. And
she helped create that show.
And it's amazing how her voice, you know her voice. She is wearing a lot of makeup. And she puts in the work. Okay, so she's a 50-year-old, half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar. She's sort of like she's kind of like the baby of the staff, because everyone is so old.
She might be an elder for a Jem'Hadar. We don't know how their aging has changed, and with the Klingon stuff, yeah. I'm
assuming that it is sort of that it's been like 500 years or so. So they probably got it fixed. But her father, her father is the Jem'Hadar and her mother is the Klingon. Because I think all Jem'Hadar are made created male. I don't know. But there weren't any female previously in any other. She's the first female Jem'Hadar that we.
And notably, her Klingon family gave up their house, and like it was a big bonding thing to connect with the Jem'Hadar.
Very, because they're both big warrior type of things. From her father, she learned victory is life. From her mother, she learned today is a good day to die. She graduated from the War College. She was an ensign on the USS Nog, and she is in a relationship with Jet Reno, which is, and I love how they did that so casually, and not in a like, guys, look. That made me very happy. Speaking of Jet Reno, here we are. Jet Reno, played by Tig Notaro. Also, 50 years of lived experience. She was born in 2215, served on the USS Hiawatha during the Klingon War. Then she was found in 2258. Then 938 years relapsed, and now we're where we are. So, her skills are engineering and physics. She served on the USS Discovery. She had a wife who was I can never say this right, a Swayzian, who died during the war. And now she left Discovery to be with Laura Thok. Next we have the doc. Oh,
let's give some respect to Starfleet for respecting lived experience, because Jet Reno is teaching temporal mechanics. And as far as she's a great engineer, but it's mostly because she's bounced around in time so much already.
Well, yeah, because and that's a thing about a lot of these characters, that a lot of these characters are not, they're long lived, and they have a weird sort of placement with time. The Doctor, played by Robert Picardo, he is approximately 900 years old. He was originally activated 2371 aboard the aboard USS Voyager. No. Yes? Was it the 70s? Yeah, it was the 70s. Sorry. That was his. So, yeah, he is the longest lived confirmed main character. Oh wait, no, he isn't. There's one other that's been the longest lived confirmed. He's like the second longest lived confirmed main character in Star Trek canon. There is one other one that is older that we find out that that was just like a nice piece of fan service.
What about Guinan?
She's not there. We haven't confirmed.
I guess she's like, yeah, she's a side character.
And she's like, well, no. The longest lived confirmed main character in Star Trek canon is Dax. And
you're right.
Is Dax.
Okay.
The second is the Doctor. Just because Dax is a lot older.
But what about the Lanthanide engineer in Strange New Worlds, played by Tracy Ullman? Isn't she like Millennium? She's like 5,000 years old too.
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane.
It's Carol Kane.
And Lanthanide.
Yeah, you're right. She's 5,000.
They don't live forever. It's been like 1,000 years since then, so it's not guaranteed that that Lanthanites or Aurelians, or what are they called? Whatever Ganon is.
I know
it's
you're
not
talking
guaranteed
about.
that how long that they actually live. Is she 5,000 years old?
Yeah. The Lanthanites were hiding among humans all the way back to the Bronze Age, and the kooky Carol Kane character on Strange New Worlds talks about they visited her in the 20th century when they were time traveling, but she's talked about being like 5,000 years old.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know she has a lot of telephones. A lot of telephones.
And one of the signals that the captain in this show, the Chancellor, is only half Lanthanite. She's only like 500 years old.
Approximately she's 422 years old. Here's the thing. She was at the Academy 400 years ago. That's how she's supposed to be. She is
and never made admiral.
She's almost exactly 400 years older than Caleb. Well, she's like 401 years older. So with the doctor, the doctor is just old and curmudgeon-y, and is not wanting to. He's not there to make friends, y'all. He's not there to make friends or family. No friends, no family. Next, we have Admiral Vance. Now, this was the only picture I could get of Admiral Vance that they gave me, because he's not a main character, and so they were like, here's a picture of him.
But he's my favorite Star Trek daddy.
I know, and I love his voice. He's got that
I'm wishing they'd done a cuter photo.
But we got Admiral Charlie Vance, played by Odette Fair. His birth year isn't listed on Memory Alpha, but he's old enough. He recruits Ake to the Academy. He is the institutional authority for Starfleet. He appears in person a couple of times, but is mostly there via a holographic communication. And yeah, he's Starfleet for us. Next we have Zirin Kelrek.
This guy.
Guess how old this guy is?
Tea ceremony.
70 years old. I looked it up. Like, I don't mean the actor. I mean the character.
I'm actually impressed.
Yeah. Chancellor of the War College.
There have been some attempts in the past to talk about humans aging differently with such advanced science to support them, but they've never been consistent with it. Mm-hmm. When DeForest Kelley guest starred on TNG, he was canonically like 120-something years old in the first episode, and it was fairly common for humans to live that long. I've always wondered why they don't pick like 30 or 40-something actors to play 70-year-old characters, so I'm actually glad they did this.
Because they really could get away with it on Star Trek. This is the grumpy commander chancellor of the War College. He teaches battlefield resilience, and he thinks he's better than everyone, and he's not.
Just jumping in to remind us that there are some immortal aliens that are probably older than everybody because they exist outside of space-time.
That's fair. That's really fair.
That's cheating.
It's cheating. You guys don't age. They can't be older if they don't age. Here we got Noose Braca, played by Paul Giamatti, half Klingon, half Tellarite, diet, scenery. Because he chews on the scenery. Because he's a
They could have cut all of his speeches in half and given us another Sam episode.
I love it. I love seeing him and Holly Hunter.
Aka.
Just like him and just it was
Let
fun.
the man cook.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I was like, it's the only way.
They're like, have some fun. So he is a Tellarite Klingon, which is not something that we've actually seen.
But we see two of them. We see two of them because that bitchy girl in the War College, she looks like she's Klingon Tellarite too.
I don't like her.
I totally clocked her as a Romulan, but I think you're right.
She looks little. She looks like she might have some Romulan in her. I like how I love this. I love this conversation. I'm loving it. All right. He is the leader of the criminal organization. He is a sociopath and a psychopath. He likes to kill people. He is locked and confused. He's locked in the memory of himself as a child, which a lot of characters on this show are. A lot of these characters are not linear, as the prophets would say. next we have Anisha Mir, played by Tatiana Maslany. Did I get it right? Her birth year isn't listed, but I'm assuming she's mom aged. She studied physics and mechanical repair. She's Caleb's mom. She was sentenced and sentenced to prison after the death of a Starfleet officer when she, like a felony theft type of situation. She broke out of prison a year before the show started, so she spent 14 years in prison. But she finds her son. And last but not least...
Wait, I have to highlight that Tatiana M., if she looks familiar, played She-Hulk on She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
She was also a whole bunch of people.
She was Orphan Black.
Yeah. That's why I say she was a bunch of people Orphan Black. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where I know her from. You haven't seen Orphan Black? You should watch some Orphan Black. She is...
I love me some Orphan Black.
She shows her acting chops on that. Because she plays a lot of characters with her face. Next we have Sylvia Tilly. 32 years of lived experience. She was born 2233. She traveled to the 32nd century and when she was 25. So it's a few years later. She teaches engineering theory, and she's teaching third-year cadets in the Beta Quadrant. But also she teaches theater to traumatized people, and she suffers no fools. One thing that
all theater teachers.
I love how she was like, "You are sailing perilously close to the wind," which is just like such a nice way of saying, "You better shut the fuck up right now. You do not get to talk to me that way." But one thing that I have noticed is that all of these old people are pretty gruff, and are like, "Yeah, life is awful, and we're gonna get this all figured out, and we're here to help you." So those are the characters. Now let's get started on the show. Episode 1. Oops, it wasn't supposed to do that. It wasn't supposed to play.
The trap episode. I have archetypes written down for all of the episodes.
Mm-hmm. So, episode 1. Kids These Days. Which I did feel that. I felt that a lot in this. Kids These Days, written by Gaia Violo, who created this, and directed by Alex Kurtzman. We open 15 years before the main story. Anisha Mir is caught up in Newsbraka's piracy operation. Not because she's a criminal, but because she's starving and trying to feed herself and her kid. Starfleet doesn't care about context. Captain Nala Ake is forced to sentence her. Caleb gets separated from his mother and handed over to the Federation. Ake quits Starfleet over it. Fast forward 15 years into the 15 years. Caleb Mir is grown up to be brilliant, built, and about to be sent to an alien prison. Ake, now Chancellor of the newly reopened Starfleet Academy, tracks him down and offers him a deal. Enroll in Starfleet Academy, and she will help him find his mother. He says yes, but he is not happy about it. Starfleet Academy runs out of the USS Athena, a fully functioning starship that doubles as a mobile campus. Caleb meets his fellow cadets, Jaden Craig, Sam, Darum Remy, Genesis Lythe, and we also get to see the Doctor, because he's back. Back on Earth, the Venari Rel, or on the way to Earth, sorry, the pirates attack because Caleb tried to contact his mom. Darum does a spacewalk in his natural form. They fight off the attack. They make it back to Earth. Ake does not expel Caleb. She tells him about her son, and they bond. And that is Kids These Days. As far as the pilot goes, I'm going to rate this as far as a 1 to 10. I'm going to say that this episode was a good and solid 3. I'm giving this a 3.
I'm giving it the same score, Maya. Now, I agree.
Well, okay, so Lucicia, what are you thinking? What are you thinking with this episode?
I gave it 5.
You giving it a 5?
Yeah, because I think there were better episodes.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Like higher than that. But, it's mid, but it has all the good tropes to kind of get you in. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it deserves higher than kind of mid-level. That's just me.
GJ, Grant, what say you?
I gave it like a 4. I considered it a pretty mid episode compared to the rest of the season. I liked a few things. I didn't like a few things. It was giving me an idea of what to look for. It's a fine intro.
Yeah, if I put this into pilots, it wouldn't even be probably the best pilot I've seen, but it's still pretty good.
I think that's a good point because Star Trek has had some really good pilots.
We had a Trek rank on pilots. We're gonna have to do a new one because of this show.
Yeah, but I can't compare it to the other pilots. I can only compare it to the other.
This is just for, we're just comparing it to the episodes of this TV show, not of all Star Trek ever. But where do we rank this? And Grant, what do you say?
So I watched a second time. I did a full rewatch of the season having watched the series. And I gave it a much higher score than I think I would have the first time I watched it. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because I had some affection for the characters that I didn't really care about the first time I watched. And on the second watch, I was like, oh, I see how they're establishing this person. I get it. They're in a prison she's in jail to start with. I was like, are we on a mining facility? Like at the opening, there were just a lot of things that went so quickly the first time that on the second time, I was like, oh, I get this pilot. So I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Wow. So with context, it's better.
With context, it was much better for me.
So without context, do you think you could agree at a 4?
No, I probably would agree at a 3. Like I was very confused the first time through. Like it took me a good like halfway through to be like, oh, I get what's happening.
Which is not good for a pilot.
My issue is that the dialogue gets better as the episodes continue. So the first episodes, it reads like one person wrote it, and it's very Gilmore Girls. It's very Dawson's Creek. All the characters sound the same to me, and I hate it. Also, sometimes it's giving vibes and not content. So I was like, I get that this is fun, flirty exchange, but actually your language makes no sense. This is bad dialogue. That actors are delivering well, and the camera work is gorgeous.
Yes, that's so, I love how you say they're saying it well and it looks good. And so sometimes it's hard to tell if it is good.
Yeah, the casting was so spot on for this show. Whoever the casting director is, kudos to you. But you can cast me as well and Catherine Pirro to be your makeup person. I promise you. You're a Ionian. But I thought that the reason why I say mid is that it's for those reasons. It's that it has like the, woman being separated from child trope to kind of pull your heartstrings, but like, what happens? And clearly we had the setting up of like the villain arc story and all of that, but in comparison to the other ones, it's just still in the middle for me.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put it at a 3. We do have the right to move it if we all of a sudden go, oh, you know what? Actually, no, not a 3. We don't want a 3. I did that wrong. We all agreed it wasn't that good. Because we were rating it the wrong way.
You're right. I'm
we were
sorry.
rating it the wrong way. We were all doing that.
I wanted to give it a 7.
Yeah.
Or an 8.
That's what I meant too. And all of a sudden I went, oh wait, no, we want it lower because it wasn't good.
Because
closer
one is
to the Winn. One is the Sisko. Because we love the Sisko. All right, now, next, let's go through the next episode, which is Beta Test. This was written by Noga Landu and Jane Maggs, directed by Alex Kurtzman. So classes begin. The Academy shares a campus with the War College. There are tensions between the two institutions. Starfleet idealism versus the War College's militarism. Courses range from xenobiology to combat training. Caleb is miserable and quietly searching for information about a planet called Goja 5 because he thinks that's where his mom is, but he can't find it anywhere. A Betazoid diplomatic mission. Oh, sorry. There we go. Now we're moving. Okay, so there's our big giant man having his first days at school. Let's see. Diplomatic Betazoid mission. The President Iram Sadal is an isolationist with a long list of demands. Caleb gets assigned to escort daughter Tamira around campus. The tour becomes something more. They see some humpback whales, which Tamira really likes. She would have loved Star Trek 4. She dreams about seeing the universe and seeing the galaxy. Tamira shows him the Betazoid star chart, and he finds Goja 5. Then negotiations stall, and eventually they decide to choose a new seat of government for the Federation, and they propose to put it on Beta Z and not on Earth, which I think is actually just so smart, and I love that they did that. Tamira joins the War College. Occam joins Starfleet Academy, and he is placed in Caleb's room with Darum, and Darum and Occam get along really well. And that's just because Occam gets along with everyone. Reno also she taught a class on temporal mechanics at the beginning of the episode, and she had zero patience about getting philosophical about it because she's from 2215 and she jumped 1,000 years in the future, and so she's not interested in poetry. Also, the Doctor sings, which Robert Picardo loves a good sing song. He loves a good sing song. And that's episode 2, Beta Test, which I think is a really fun name because of the betazoidness of it. I would give this episode and I'm judging it correctly this time, 1 being really good and 10 being not good. I'm going to judge this episode at a 6. I'm giving it a 6. And that's because, despite the fact that I really did find that I liked the disability representation, I actually liked all the politicky stuff, but I did not enjoy any of the boring. I thought it was boring that Tarima and all of her whatever the hell, and it was just not interesting. I'm sorry, it was just not interesting. It was just it really just screamed poor rich white girl, and it was just I'm just ugh. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay,
go ahead.
I love that. That's her type, though. Like Star Trek has types. We've got the poor rich girl. We've got the jock who's an asshole, but actually he's cool. I'm not mad at the tropiness.
No. Yeah. But yeah, I just wasn't interested in that. But so my score is a 6. Claudia, what do you say?
I was saying six as well.
Six as well.
I was like, get out of my head. Yeah, hell yeah. I love the disability representation in New School Star Trek, like as a whole. Like it, because it's not like, hey, look at this disabled person. This story is a metaphor for disability. It's just there's a wheelchair in the back because one of the extras is in a wheelchair and it just exists. Here's me. For a hot second, I was like, did they change the Betazoids and the Betazoid sign languaging for some reason?
No, it's
and
just
then
this one.
Like,
it was messy.
No, I don't think it was messy. I think it was good and real because it wasn't like, look at the deafness and the deaf. It was just deaf people exist on Betazoid, and there's no extra. Like you don't get like the explanation until like 3 episodes later, and I'm not mad about that.
He just needed. He brought his interpreters with him. He had his or no, that's right. He had the voice or the thing where he would thing and it would connect. But he just had that. That was just a tool, and everyone was respectful of it. And I liked that element of it. And I like that they chose Beta Z as far as story point, but the rest of the episode did not give me anything.
Was he speaking ASL or
yes.
does okay, so Betazoid doesn't have its own sign. It's not like
didn't
BSL.
Make one up for it. I just know it's ASL because like I know some ASL and I was like, that's ASL.
Yeah, they didn't do like the Mandalorian and create their own language. I think that would have been great if they had, but I think with the budgeting constraints from Paramount, that wasn't going to happen. So just add the inclusion as you can. But I thought that aspect was pretty cool. But I also, again, even just the introduction of Tarima's character being sad white girl on a bench, and how she meets Caleb and all that. I'm like, yeah, it's not the best teeny love story beginning that I have read, but fine. So again, I thought the pilot episode was better than this one. So yes, I gave this a 6.
Oh, you think the pilot is better? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. And now, do you think?
Does
everyone agree?
Too. Yeah, I agree. I really agree with Lutisha on this because I could not wait for the scenes with Caleb and
Tarima
to end. Like I could not wait for them to end. And this episode featured a couple things I really loved. We had the Chancellor walking around barefoot for the first time.
Love that.
That was really good for me. I loved the whale room. The whale room gets honorable mention in my favorite rooms ranking of this series. That was one of my favorite rooms. And there were several things throughout the series that I was like, I really want to dislike what's happening, and I'm still kind of keen. And that was the Doctor singing Papageno. I wanted to really be like, this is terrible. Why are we still doing it? And gosh, I couldn't be cynical. My heart was a little warmed by it.
The Doctor. His whole thing is he's not an opera singer. He's a computer trying to simulate
to sing.
That's his nerdy thing. And
he had surtitles. The diva was like worlds above him. And yet I still, So like there were redeeming qualities, but the whole A storyline was Caleb and Tarima, and I can't give it more.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like episodes that are not where there is not a lot of that are always going to be better in my heart. Next episode.
Wait, I didn't get to go.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, GJ. Go ahead.
This was my least favorite episode of the entire season. It had but it had a ton of asterisks because of amazing set pieces that just didn't fit together and gel very well. Including my favorite line, and I will tell you that I too have been told that I give unpaid dating coach energy, which is my favorite line of the entire season. I love Sam so much. I loved what you were saying about the accessibility, although I still think it may have been too casual to mention it in later episodes, because the entire delegation comes in and you're just introduced to this one character and everyone's signing the whole time. And I think it could have been more elegant. So again, it's like set pieces that don't all gel together. And there was a nod toward youth activism. The fact that Tarima and her brother were leaders of this youth activist movement. I liked that it was represented, but I like never see that again in the season.
Yeah.
We don't hear about that ever. And like, tell us more about the youth activism on Beta Z. I want to hear, why did it start? What's going on?
Akam
what
and
were they?
Tarima do not seem very politically minded. You're muted, Claudia, but they do not seem very politically minded at any other time for the rest of the show.
They're political dissidents who get exiled to the planet that they're more in favor of.
That just popped into my head too. Also, someone mentioned the standing up at the end. I feel like a line got cut there. Like there was no call to action. Please stand up if you believe in this cause.
No. You missed it, right? So
I
first,
guess I did.
Beta Say girl stands up because she's taking a stand. Then she makes eye contact with her man, and he's like, I'm going to take a stand too. And he stands up. Then a few people around him are like, I'm going to stand up too. Some of them are characters we've seen. Some of them are characters who never have a line, but we see them all the time. And they stand up, and everybody's standing, and it's so meaningful. I don't understand totally why, but it is.
Because
we've all seen the trope, but there was no line that says we should take a stand for this.
It's like
they're a symbol of the future.
It's a slow clap.
But no, they're Betazoids. You missed some of the subtext because it was psychic.
Oh, because they were like...
They're not talking to us.
So the humans are just following along.
They're trapped in the Beta Z,
I mean,
what's that?
You know what I mean.
Don't you feel like our using AI to bring dead people back to life really missed out on bringing Majel Barrett back? Because I feel like she would have been great throughout this entire series, doing the creepy Princess Leia reanimated corpse thing. Well, I'll stop there, please.
Here's the thing about Tarima. Tarima is a Betazoid princess like Deanna Troi, like Waxana Troi. And I wish we had seen more about the free. I mean, Tarima herself is repressed because of her intense abilities, but Occam is just as and like they're supposed to be. It's not hedonistic Betazoids, but they are very open,
sensual.
They're sensual, open. They're honest because it's because they feel, because of the empathy and the feeling, and with full-blooded Betazoids, it's even stronger. It's even more. And they never did that with Occam. I understood why they wouldn't do it with Tarima because she's got the little implant that makes her not as emotional. But he doesn't do anything except drop stuff and put on a costume, and give Sam the best nickname ever. And I am disappointed by that. But next episode, which is episode 3, Vetus Reflux. It's the Calica.
This is the Jock episode.
This is the Jock episode, written by Kylie Rosetter and Alex Taub, directed by Doug Aronofsky. Calica tryouts. Calica's a brand new game. They invented it for this show. Thank you. I'm glad. I don't want to see Parisi squares. I don't know what it is, and I don't care. So the cadets compete for spots on the Calica team. It's like capture the flag and laser tag. Genesis is a great leader. Caleb has never played before. He does not like sports. He does not like teamwork. He is, in a way, it is kind of amusingly contrary to all of this. The War College starts pranking the Academy kids by transporting them to public spaces in just their underwear. Thok wants to shut it down right away, but Ake is like, nah, let the kids have fun. I thought that there was a real, it felt a lot like these kids were locked up during the pandemic kind of feel to it. Um, it felt very much like these kids are locked up during the pandemic. Let them have fun. Uh, the cadets counter operation is a heist, and I love a heist. I love a heist. The Vita's reflux is a biomimetic fungus that Ake introduces to them. She gives it. The plan is for Durham to he fakes this big Kyonian hug, which I really loved. How he was like, he was like, "This is my culture. Do not disrespect my culture," and he just holds him for way too long, and it is just delightful.
I think that's Darum's best moment the whole season.
It's so funny. It is so funny, and it fully cracks me up because it's because he's like, don't, I gotcha.
It reminded me of how we used to prank white people about Black culture, and that's what I loved about that. Like you just,
I have done that.
Oh my god!
Someone asked me where I got a scarf. It was like just like one of those like silk scarves that had like a leopard print on it. Leopard print. Very cheap thing. And she's like, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "Deepest, darkest Africa." And then she said, "Really?" And then I said, "No." Because this was a stranger. And that's don't ask strangers questions like that.
Strangers questions.
I've had people ask me what my hat was called. And it's like it's a cap. Like it would be like Claudia's hat.
Where do you get your lipstick? And I say Black Jesus.
Heck yeah. That's the best place. But let's see. So they do a big heist. They also play a Calica game and lose. But they figure out in that Calica game that Durham is not a very good leader. Because he wants to win. He doesn't want to lead. That is the difference between Genesis and Durham's sort of the way that they operate. Because Durham thinks he's better than everyone. His plan was literally, I'll do it.
There was a brilliant moment several episodes later that I felt like threw back to these little moments where they're finding their roles. They're all being like pre-tracked into traditional officer roles, and Jet Reno, I keep wanting to say Janet Reno. Jet Reno just sort of like offhandedly mentions like, "Oh yeah, Durham's going to be a great pilot one day," and you realize it's been the whole season, and that was one of the better developing arcs over the season.
I love how
she name her Janet Reno from now on.
Same. I've been calling her Janet Reno. I was like bracing myself to not do it today. So thank you, GJ.
Janet Jet Reno. It
is the least Star Trek name ever.
I love the plants. The Vetus refluxes. They're super cute, and I like how they mimic you. Because they remind me of like those little plant things that you can buy, and they're not plants, little plastic toys that you talk at them and then they're like back, and it's just
Claudia's thinking the same hilarious. Thing. This is Audrey 3000.
Audrey 3000.
Like Audrey 2 from
no, but I get it 3000. Yes. I'm like,
so
feed me.
I love these plants. I love their little squeaky little voice, but my favorite plant goes to the constantly flowering blossom trees in the atrium for the entire season. Although I love these plants, they're always cherry blossoms in the atrium.
Yeah, always.
Future genetic modification, baby.
Look
for
at
the
that
fashion. Hair. If you're a student, you want cherry blossoms falling all the time.
Mm-hmm. Look at Sam's hair.
Yeah,
this has nothing to do with the story, but like, look at that. I added that picture just because I was like, dang.
I need to recreate her hairstyle.
So good. It's so good. And
I love talking about Sam, but I want to go back to the cherry blossoms real fast. Apparently, that was chosen because in Japanese culture, cherry blossoms have an association with renewal. So it's very much about Starfleet Academy rebuilding.
Ooh, there's a lot of
Symbolism is really great, and I love the little plants. I need to crochet one, so I can just have
They're
it.
so
That'd be great.
cute.
It's so cute.
I really found the heist to be the most fun of the season. Like this episode was the most fun. I am gonna give it, in my opinion, because I think it's better. I think it's probably this is the third episode. Oh, we also are. It is also confirmed that Reno and Thok are in a relationship, and it is presented as a fact, not an event, and that is a very
subtle.
important
Loved
thing.
it.
I liked how it just wasn't. It was like, oh, and like Darum, was it Darum or was it Caleb? No, it was Darum who was with Reno when we find out, and it's not like, oh,
I love that
it's
because
just like,
the
oh,
whole over the top thing with the pronoun stuff, and I was like, that's a little too much. And I was like, that was not needed. So when they did this, I was like, this is what we need. It's just a fact. You don't need to go over the
it's
top.
like they're a couple, and it's funny that they're a couple because Thok is such a grumpy, yelly, complainy person, just so loud in her complaints, that like to have that as your partner is just someone who's just like, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, kitten, also kitten.
Yeah,
and,
that was
and
great.
she's like, don't. And I'm like, it's because you like that. I would give this episode, I want to give this episode an actual 3, not a 7, but an actual 3, because it was funny. It had the heist. I liked the costumes. I liked that they grew an eyeball. I liked the joke about not ripping an eyeball out. Because like Sam was like, oh yeah, I thought that too, and apparently pranks aren't supposed to make people bleed. So I'm gonna give this a 3. GJ, what do you think?
I have kind of a section of mid-tier episodes, and this was one of my favorite of the mid-tier episodes, so I put it at like a 5.
Okay.
And I liked it. I just like other episodes more. And Genesis, either language has evolved away from like Latin pronunciation, or Genesis doesn't know how to pronounce appendices, which was weird because it was a whole thing in the scene that she's correcting someone else's pronunciation.
Because he has 6 appendices, right? Or appendixes?
That was what it was about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying appendix I. Oh, I think it was Darum or Occam. One of them said appendici, and then she corrected him.
Appendici. Grant, what do you say? We have some 5s. We have some.
Yeah, I also gave this a 3.
3.
I gave it a 7, but that's before I knew the scale was reversed. So 3. And this had a couple of favorite moments for me. Favorite food-based line was Wino Pepperoni. I will not eat anything that does not die in a fair fight. That was really good. He also had the bloodline. I think that was in the episode before. I need blood in it to consider it food. Blood sausage, blood pie. That it also had my favorite relational dispute, which was between Reno and Laura, which was, we were having turducken for dinner tonight. You don't respect dinner. I really that really got this episode up pretty high for me.
It was such a like a couple thing, like such a couple thing to say, like, you don't respect dinner.
You don't respect dinner.
And it's like, I'm so sorry. And the making up and the conversation so genuine. And it's like, I'm so sorry. How can I make this up to you? And like, we're gonna go get French food, and then being like, well, this is my life. And I love the accountability and admitting you're wrong.
But also, please respect dinner. Like,
yeah, respect dinner.
I am going to say 3 because I am here for a low stakes Star Trek episode. Can I enjoy Star Trek without feeling stressed out or super sad and depressed? Thank you, episode, for just like having stakes that I could enjoy. And it wasn't about saving the universe.
There's an awful lot of episodes that make us cry. Yes. In this season, in this season, and
I kind of wondered if it would have been stronger being the second episode.
Actually,
like it was a deeper introduction of the characters. Also, shout out to the 2 or 3 anonymous teammates, because it's a team of 8 and we only have 5 named characters on the team, and they not only do they not have names or backgrounds, they almost never face the camera. It's like they really want to make sure you did not distract from the stars.
Really quick, there is a shot here where you see Darren being picked up by people, and these are just random classmates that are also there. And I think the tall one might be Darren, or might be Caleb, whose face we can't see, that are picking him up. And it's like it is funny sometimes. It's like
Caleb would not participate in that.
I can't imagine him picking anyone up, unless he was going to throw them somewhere, or just to drop them. All right. So let's get to episode 4. This was called Vox in Excelsior.
The Epiphany episode.
Written by Eric Anthony Glover and Gaia Violo, and directed by Doug Aronofsky. So this is the debate. This is the debate Klingon episode. This is the political episode. People having opinions on other people's cultures and what they. Yeah. So the first official Academy debate in over a century. For most cadets, it's just a class. For Jaden, it's a crisis. He has a public speaking fear. The doctor, who famously debated himself into existence, steps into coach. Not very well with Jaden.
I did like that line. Debated himself into existence.
He did that. He did do that. He do be like that. The episode drops real weight. The burn destroyed Kronos and most of the Klingon colonies. The Klingons are essentially a refugee species. They transport carrying the surviving members of the 8 Klingon houses. There are only 8 houses left. And there was a crash, and possibly Jaden's parents, and possibly all of the houses. Possibly Jaden is the last Klingon in existence. Through flashbacks, we get Jaden's backstory. His father wanted a warrior, or one of his fathers wanted a warrior. His brother wanted Jaden to be who he was. His brother was killed by a traitor when his father refused Federation medical aid. Jaden, that's not exactly it. His brother was killed because they were trying to get a dermal regenerator, some type of thing, which was Federation technology. Jaden was carrying the guilt of that because he thinks it's his fault because he wanted to look at Federation healing technology. Thorlock tells Jaden the truth that his father intentionally missed a kill shot after their last confrontation and let him go. The resolution is classic Star Trek. Instead of giving the Klingons a planet, the Federation stages a ritual battle so the Klingons can conquer it. Note that the USS Riker is in attendance. They just named a bunch of ships, and that was one of them. They get what they needed without surrendering their pride. Jaden's parents survive. Jaden is given his father's bow, and Caleb repairs this little globy thing like announcement globe that his brother, that Jaden's brother had given him, and then he eats some entrail stew, and they're friends again. But there's this a lot of talk about countries having a superiority, thinking that they know the right choices for other people, being very paternalistic, um, and it was really, really interesting. I agree with Claudia wrote in the comments, this is my favorite Klingon episode ever, and I agree. I really, really agree. You really get to understand that Klingons get to be Klingons, and like even with this, like this was a ritual battle. It's not that this was like they played a joke or did a little tricky trick or a little. This was a ritual, and this is how Klingons work. And this was, I liked that they were able to uh, do it the Klingon way, because that was the problem. Is that the Federation wanted to do it the Federation way. They refused to look at it through the viewpoint of the Klingons. Also, really, really interesting that Caleb of all people was pro Federation. And in the argument, I found that to be so fascinating. What's his poor brother? But yeah, so I really, really like this episode. I think as far as this episode, I would put it as, I'd say this was a good, solid 2, in my opinion. I think this was a really good, solid episode where we got to learn about a character. We got to learn about a culture that we already like, a culture that we love, and this moved the story and the universe more, like a lot more than previous episodes. Like I feel like this episode mattered more. So I'm going to give it a 2. A 2. I'm going to jump to you, GJ, and ask you, what do you think?
I agree. It was one of the best episodes. I think I gave it a 3 out of 10, and it was my 4th favorite episode. I might have deducted some points because the main Klingon um, correspondent that Dr. Ake comes is a Klingon hybrid, and is the second white Klingon in this season. And I know that they're all hybrids, but I was just I was a little
No, I'm with you.
confuddled by
I'm
the
with you. I was
casting.
like, oh, a
Yeah,
white Klingon.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't love that part, and I think I deducted some points for that. But overall, I really love Jaden Krog's um, uh, plot arc. I love the sepia Klingon flashbacks with his family. You see the triad of parents, and I just his brother seeing him. It's not really there's sort of like some of the other things we've talked about. There's no one moment where they shout from the rooftops, Jaden is a gay Klingon. But but then I guess this is also where I detract a little bit, because the idea that he's sensitive and the idea that he wants to be a healer, and like it was getting a little too fabulous for me. It was just a little too tropey. And I do love the way Jaden is played as like he is the gay cousin who organizes the family reunion. Like whether he's accepted or not, he holds down the traditions. But I did not. I love his relationship with his brother, but I did not love that he's kind of cut and dried as traditional and a healer at the same time. We see him wrestling with that, but I think there could be more a nuance in how he's written.
Fully agree, because also it is, I mean, I guess I understand that it is not something that people talk about or write about, but um Klingons are scientists. They mess around with science all the time. They mess around with medical science specifically and particularly. They're all about that. Like, they've been messing with genes and stuff for like 1,000 years. And so I'm like, it feels a little weird that they're like, oh, but you're like, I think that it's interesting to have because it's not that like it's because he's a pacifist, not because he is not because he's gay, or not because he's necessarily anti, like like he's a pacifist, which is not something a Klingon is. Klingons are not pacifists, which actually technically he's not 100% pacifist. He's just mostly pacifist. So you have it about a 2 or 3. Can I get?
Yeah, I gave it a 3.
Can I get a consensus on a 2? Do you think?
Before we do that, though, I want to just say I am okay, sort of, with a white Klingon, because if Klingons remain like looking like black people, you fall into the trope of black people being seen as like, "Ooh, we fight." Da, 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 da. But
That's real. That's real. Yeah.
There should be a little bit more, and also, I don't like the way they've evolved any of the species, and I don't think they did a good job. Someone like me, who is a scientist, to be more involved, but thinking about an evolution of a species, maybe he's mixed with someone that they conquered, and maybe that's why he's a light-skinned cousin, and we're okay with that.
We've seen enough white Klingons. We've seen them
We've
in
seen
other
it
things
before, so it's not like it's anything new for me. But Claudia
At
was
least they didn't
Yeah,
darken him, which is what they did in the 90s.
Yeah, can I please jump in? Because
Yeah.
y'all are talking a lot about this subject, and I know a lot about it.
Talk it.
And y'all not totally getting it right, but how could you? Because who else would be obsessed with Klingons and race? So basically, in the original seasons, they were all white actors, and they were black faced, but it was an Asian Mongol stereotype. So it had very specific like eyebrows, and like it was offensive AF. Then later on in the 90s, they were like, well, let's try to not be so racist, and they cast a black man. And then you had white actors and black actors playing Klingons, but you had white actors playing Klingons. Also in the Star Trek movies, you had white and Asian actors playing Klingons. You had, what's his name?
Christopher, what's his face?
Exactly.
Christopher Lloyd.
No. Oh, right. Him too. I meant a different Christopher.
Both of them, right? And they're white AF. So I'm just saying, you had a lot of white actors playing Klingons, right? Then you had Discovery, where they like gave them these built out teeth and these wild things. It was like, what are you even?
They tried to go a whole other direction, yeah.
And
then they pulled back a little.
Yeah, and then in the Enterprise, they tell you the backstory of like, why are Klingons so cray looking? And it turns out genetical modification, like Maya was saying, they were just like messing around with all the science and whatever. So like, I feel like they're trying to get back to basics and serve me, an audience member who is like, the Klingon design is not giving for Discovery. But I'm like, oh, for world building, I actually need to see some of those Klingons just to like give me variety and understanding.
There's a diaspora, and I also appreciated the fact that they did use the word Klingon diaspora in in that episode. They understood and explained to us that Klingons are not a monolith.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to refer to. Like there's always been a change with the Klingons, because they're also my favorites. I just really love that there's a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, because she talks like me, and I love that. And so think about murder. Nina Simone. Anyways, so it was good to see also the mentorship and the apology. Like, I thought, as a Black person, I've never gotten that level of apology from any of my elders for not, being in more, stepping up more. like there was opportunities where I was struggling and they saw me struggling and they never intervened.
And
right?
I also loved that. I loved how she was
That
like,
was
I
beautiful.
saw and I was afraid that I couldn't do it right or that I was going to say the wrong thing. So I didn't do anything. And that was a mistake. And I'm sorry. And I'm here for you. And I hear you. I see you. And you
Yeah.
are like, I loved how she was like, you are good enough. You exactly as you are. Just like how his brother had always told him. And that and that she as an adult, because a lot of this show is about a child's perspective
Exactly.
and how a child's perspective is not always, well, is often not actually what happened. Because to Jaden, what happened is that his father, and then left, and then they left him.
Right.
And so, as far as he knew,
but his father is making a choice.
his father,
I need to set my child free. His
well,
father
because
loves him.
his father said, his father, well, Jaden argues the point, and then his father is like, oh shit, you're right, but that's not how Klingons do it.
Right.
Klingons go, boom, I missed the shot. I missed that shot to honor you not making the shot, and now I'm gonna let you go do your thing. Right. And I really, really, really loved that she told him that, like, she let him know, like, that is the deal. Like, your family does love you. They always loved you and they always supported you. And I just think it's really, really beautiful. But yeah, a lot of this show has to do with a child's perspective. Speaking of a child's perspective, the next episode, series Acclamation Mill, written by Kristen Beyer and Tawny Newsome, directed by Larry Tang. Real quick note about Tawny Newsome. I love the fact that Tawny Newsome, before she was cast as Beckett Mariner, did not watch any Star Trek. I knew Tawny Newsome from the podcast Yo, Is That Racist? That she did with Andrew T. And then one day she was like, oh, I got this gig. And then couldn't really talk much about the gig, and it turned out it was Star Trek. And then she loved it so much that she's now writes it and stars in it. So
can I just give you my vote right now, because I have a joke to say?
Yeah,
and it's ironic that this episode is the Sisko.
I know.
That's my vote.
This episode is the Sisko. It's a great episode, y'all. It is a great episode. And really quick, I want to say something to the internet. And that was there was an internet person. I watched a video where they were talking about the season, and this internet person hated this episode. And I generally like this internet person's talk about Star Trek, and they hated this episode. And I was like, this is one of those people that doesn't like delicious things. Because this episode was fan service. It was a yummy, yummy plate of yummy, yummy, delicious stuff. And it was for us to eat and enjoy.
Yeah, this is Grant. I feel like whereas the last episode really didn't play to fan service, like it really developed a whole new aspect of like where Klingons are in this time. This was like yum 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 yum.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like DS9, give me more. I need what happened to Sisko, because it was always unresolved.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, I was like, we don't need to know what happened to Sisko. Sisko lives in all of us. And I was just like, literally a ball of tears, and was cussing the writers out because how dare you make me cry? I think about the decapitation and fighting all the time. And here I am bawling in my mascara, and I hated you and loved you at the same time. And the hair was on fire throughout every single, like, it was just.
And when she made it purple.
I screamed when Sirach Lufton got on screen. I stood up and went, ah!
I was screaming because
I was this. It was very, I mean, that's what this episode was. So really quick, I'm just going to say the makers assigned Sam they want her to take a class called Confronting the Unexplainable so that she can understand everything. Because that's how you do it. I love I love that about her makers. That they were like, you don't understand, then take this class. You're at school. I don't understand what your problem is. But she looks around and she sees a class called the Fate of Benjamin Sisko, Emissary of the Prophets. She's like, emissary? That's me.
That's the first time I started crying in this episode.
I started to go, oh no. Oh no, what are they doing to me? So she decides she's going to solve the mystery. The teacher, Professor Isla, is like, if you can solve it, then you can teach the class. So she goes to Bejor Club. And really is culturally insensitive. Like, prove to me your God is real. I mean, I loved how, okay, so here's the thing. What she did with touching, like grabbing the other guy's ear when he's checking her paw, 100% legit. He did not explain what he was doing when he went and touched her. Okay? Like, that was very funny. That was very funny. They never do. And then they're like, your paw is very strong. Your ear, you're like... So I like how she like was like, oh. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just thought that's how you greeted people.
The Chancellor in the next scene is like, it says here you grabbed his ear and yelled, prove to me he's still alive. This is really good. Also, when he said her paw was strong, I did start to cry a little bit. Like, there was a lot. This was a very wet episode for me.
It was also, and then like our B plot is Kellerick having to like the grown-ups having a dinner party, so because Kellerick has a hot date. And that's it's amusing, but not that important.
Yeah, I'm like, Kellerick was in this episode?
Yeah, for just like a second.
He has a literal hot date.
Okay, this was the second episode.
He has to heat up the ocean. And
yeah, it's really questionable behavior. Really questionable behavior. This was the second episode in a row of flirty diplomacy. The previous one with the Klingon, like they were like sipping by the fire, being all sexy.
Yeah, that was her.
And this one, he's like, I'm
legit.
Gonna show her how stern I am, and they're flirting in their weird ways.
I like how the adults in this are silly in an adult way. They don't act like children because they're not children.
Well, this is very much the teacher's lounge, I think.
Yes.
Like the adults doing funny things. Like, what did they talk about? And this is what they would talk about.
I loved the bar. I liked Sam deciding that she had 12 shots, because that is a really dumb choice. That people are like, I'm gonna get drunk. Like, drinking to get drunk is a dumb choice, and that is what she did, and that is what young people do, and it was hilarious. And I like how she started a fight for the emissary. And also, yeah, because it really was just delightful. So I'm gonna give this the Sisko. I'm gonna put Series Acclamation Mill. I think that it deserves to be the Sisko. Now, I also, by the way, this is the picture I chose. Oops, sorry. For a Series Acclamation Mill, because I was like, hey, there we go. And that's a Sisko. That's a Sisko if I ever saw it.
Like, Sirach aged to look a little like Avery Brooks. Like, I remember seeing them together being like, I'm not sure if that young actor is well cast, and I was wrong.
He's got the Sisko beard too.
Yeah, he does. And here's
magic.
a really interesting thing about this episode, that at the end we have a voiceover of Avery Brooks speaking. And now this is not newly recorded. It's from his 2006 spoken word album. And they used that with his permission, and that was awesome. That was Avery Brooks doing something. That was Avery Brooks. Really. That was Avery Brooks. And I just love that. I thought that was like amazing.
It was
and
so perfect.
God, I cried.
I was, it just sent me.
Now,
long overdue.
I have a question, y'all. We're halfway through the season. We just did halfway, and it is 5:30. Now, we could do this again next week if you want to come back next week. I think. I like how, Claudia, are you looking at your calendar too? I'm like, I think I have next Thursday free. Yeah, I do. If anybody else wants to come by next week and we can finish this, if we can finish this next week, because I'm not going to take all your night. I love myself and I have to eat because I don't disrespect dinner.
See?
But did you program the replicator?
You respect dinner. We were having turducken tonight, okay?
I need to prep. I need to make sure that the my replicator is prepped for my turducken. Also, turducken. Interesting.
But that is something that
also, I need to know how a replicator works, y'all. I don't totally understand it because you have to program recipes into it, and now you have to pre-program things.
It's so they have said it's related to transporter technology.
Yeah. And it's like it is like a matter reconfiguration, and then you have to put in a recipe for that matter configuration. And some people are really bad at programming a replicator.
Exactly.
Like Catherine Janeway is terrible at programming a replicator, but I feel like it would just be like heat to 20.
But here's the other thing that was made very clear in Star Trek Discovery is that a replicator apple is not as good as an apple that was grown from a tree. There is a taste difference because that replicated matter has been sourced from all of the different places. It could be sourced. It's organic. You get what I'm saying.
It's poop food.
It's poop food, but Caleb actually likes it.
And there's a plant bay that they also use.
Garbage cans, of course.
Yeah, no, I said it's because he's poor, and that's why. He's like, guys,
I just picture vats of protein, just like sitting protein and nutrients and stuff, and that's what they pull from.
Well, I figured like the replicator is also like how some people can't use a microwave, or if you go to someone else's house to use their microwave and it's different from your microwave, and you're like, where are the buttons?
What? How do you do 1 minute?
Right.
That happens. That has happened to me.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot with the hot dog in it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He didn't have to say that every time. He did not have to say tea, Earl Grey, hot. He could have just said, like, Picard's tea. Tea, the way I like it.
The thing I like. Make the thing I like.
Make my drink. You know what I like, computer. The computer does.
He
never had to be that specific. And yet he did. Do you know why? Because he's a snooty, elitist F-boy.
He's a Frenchman with a British accent.
With the negative Picard opinions. Maya Mama coming in hot. All right, I feel like we need to throw down next week. Audience, you let us know if you agree with Maya Mama's Picard. I'm not going to call it Picard slander because I think it's based in fact.
It's based in fact. He's a good captain.
We can discuss this next week.
Yes.
Also, we've had a request to talk about this episode even more because we love Sam, and I would not be mad at doing that.
Well, we're going to talk more about Sam when we get to episode 8, The Life of the Stars. And
real quick, I do love how this episode sets that one up later.
It really does. And I'm looking for it. The Life of the Stars is also gonna I already know it's gonna be tied for #1. And that's only because I trust the fact that I was crying so much that my throat hurt as a metric for how good an episode is. Did my throat hurt at the end of it? I think it was good. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go to this screen, and now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say... Oh, wait. Should I say the thing? I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us. Trek Talk is a Calling Up Justice production. Special thanks to executive producer Claudia Alec. I'm your host, Maya Mama, and with us we had GJ, Grant, Aunt Lutisha, and I hope to see you all next week so we can get the rest of this season done. Okay, bye-bye!